What's up, boys? So I got a new series coming, and it's going to be on what you see here right behind me. This is my new 1660 Voyager. It was a total gut job. She's about 90% done, 80% done, something like that. Another week or two. I got a lot of irons in the fire, but she's getting there. So that'll give you a little sneak peek what the video is about. It'll probably be a 4 or 5 part series, but I'm excited about it. Alright, boys, I sped all this up. I'm not gonna bore you too much, but in a nutshell, this is me removing the front deck, grinding a bunch of welds, you know, kind of gutting the boat out, cleaning it up, getting it prepped for paint. And then from there, we took it to the paint booth, and my buddy laid some paint down on it. So, I don't know. Tell me what you think. So I just want to say thanks to my buddy Dan. He let me bring the boat over to his shop. And he got the paint, mixed it all up, actually sprayed the whole boat for me. We let it cure for a couple of days before we put it back on the trailer, but couldn't have done it without him. And you'll see here as the video continues to go, he did a pretty good job on it. I'm impressed. Turned out nice. And the paint was reasonable, a couple $100. So you guys, you got to see what the boat kind of looked like at the start. Me demoing it out. Took it over to my buddy, got it painted. There was a lot of prep, a lot of sanding, a lot of grinding. So then I got it back. My batteries were dead for a couple of days, so I didn't film getting it back on the trailer, getting it back in the garage. And then I got it home. I did put closed cell foam in the floor, put the factory floor back in it, but I flipped it upside down. And then I bought these tracks. I actually had my brother-in-law make these for me, and I will sell them here in the near future as I get my new shop up and running so that you guys have access to this stuff. But once I put the angle on the side of the hull, the tracks, I ran the left to right tracks attached to that angle, and then I notched all the tracks into the left and right so that they overlap and it holds them together. And then I took a piece of flat stock with some 5200, mounted that underneath so that it's all riveted and sealed together. So with the 5200, as you drill the hole, those are countersink rivets, and that squeezes that all up nice and tight, and the 5200 is sealed in the hole. I'm hoping that this turns into a primarily watertight system that supports my lid, and it gives me waterproof storage. There will be drain lines that I'll add in eventually when I get to that point, but that was the premise behind that, just trying something new. I'll put some water in them once I get to that stage, and hopefully they're going to be dry. You know, they're not intended to fill all the way up. They're just intended for the water that runs in that crack to shuffle it to the drain line and then down below the floor and out to the bilge. And I hope I pull that all off in the end, and only time's going to tell as I finish the boat. I guess we'll just go from there. But that's basically what I'm doing. What you're seeing here is just a matter of hooking all this stuff up. It was really time consuming. It's probably 10 minutes a joint per the cutting, the fastening, and putting it together. But it takes the place of 4 different pieces of angle if you think about it. I mean, it's all in one piece, so it is a little more time consuming because you're not just cutting a straight piece of angle and putting 4 rivets in. I mean, every joint had, I think there was six or seven rivets in every joint, and you know what you're seeing there is just 4 joints. By the time I'm all done with the front end, there ends up being like 20 and another 20 or 30 in the back. So I think as the build progresses, you'll see that it did pay off tremendously, but it was time consuming. Like anything, something new takes a little bit to learn. And then once you do it once or twice, it gets a little easier, it gets a little easier, it gets a little easier. But I don't know, I guess you guys have to be the judge of this as you see it. And then when you see the finished product in the next 3 or 4 videos, then you'll understand. All right, so what I've got cooking here is a little denatured alcohol, paper towel. You got to clean up all that excess 5200 that oozes out of those rivets and out of that joint before it sets. So I just went through, wiped it all down, cleaned it up, tried to get as much of that residue stuff off of there as I could. Every time I did a joint, I would clean and clean and clean and just, you know, try to make it as nice and tidy as possible. I went back and added some uprights attached to some angle on the floor, and this is all 1¼ inch, 1/16 wall tube. These are made out of 0.090 sheets. She's solid now. I mean, I was just sitting up